Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sealed Saturdays. It is Saturday, February 13th, and we're opening some Modern Horizons today. Modern Horizons is a very unique and fun set for the limited format, which is why it's a great way to start the series off with. We're going to open a bunch of packs, discuss the archetypes as they come up, and build a few sealed decks using the cards if we can. If we can build all those archetypes, we will. Otherwise, we're just going to open some cards. Alright, now here we go. We got ourselves 6 packs of Modern Horizons. Let's crack the first one open. Let's start off with a Goblin Champion, Fairy Seer, a Recruit the Worthy, Spore Frog, Gluttonous Slug, a Reign of Revelation, Gilded Lights, Elvish Fury, Anamorphous X, Lesser Masticore, Saddled Rhymestag, a Lava Belly Sliver, a Rares and Nether Spirit. We got another Spore Frog, Snow Covered Swamp, and our Art Token. And put the rares off to the side. Second pack, we got a Reckless Charge, Phantom Ninja, Impostor of the Sixth Pride, Spinehorn Minotaur, Azra Smoke Shaper, Twin Silk Spider, Weather the Storm, A Winter's Rest, Universal Automaton, Trumpeting Herd, a Baron Moor, Land Pile, a Smiting Helix, Goblin Oriflame, our rares Ayula, Queen Among Bears, Snow Covered Plains, a foil elemental token, and a red card. Pack number 3, we've got an Ephemerate, Bladeback Sliver, Fairy Seer, Trustworthy Scout, Gluttonous Slug, Tornado, Anamorphous Axe, Shelter, Shenanigans, a Defile, Alpine Guide, Isoid Golem, Vesper Lark, our rares Hall of Heliod's Generosity, Mountain, a token, and an art card. Pack number 4. Quakefoot Cyclops, a Spell Snuff, Trustworthy Scout, another Goblin Champion, First Spear Gargantua, Reign of Revelation, Shelter, Nature's Chant, Savage Swipe, Factor Fiction, Zaffron Decoy, Scuttling Sliver, a Goblin Engineers are rare, nice foil Lonely Sandbar, Snow Covered Island token, and an art card. Pack number 5. Wakefoot Cyclops, Chiller Pillar, a Soul Strike Technique, Smoke Shaper, Twin Silk Spider, Marissa Behemoth, Fountain of Ichor, Arkham's Astrolabe, a Mob, Iceberg Cancrix, Squirrel Nest, a Tribute Mage, a Scuttling Sliver, and a Force of Vigor as our rare, Island, another foil token, and an art card. And pack number 6. Fairy Seer, Recruit the Worthy, Goatnap, Nimble Mongoose, Headless Spectre, Venomous Changeling, Orcish Hellraiser, Excavating Inurid, Stream of Thought, Settle Beyond Reality, Ruination Rider, First Sliver's Chosen, Farmstead Gleaner, Waterlog Grove, an Island, an art card, and a token. So, looking at what we have opened, we are severely limited on rare, like good rares. We didn't really open anything that's incredibly good. Arula is okay. It fits the blue-red archetype is probably our best option here. Let's looking at our red cards. We don't have anything that fits the draw 2 mechanic, which is a nice common red-blue. We don't have enough to do a ninja deck, I don't think. We might. Phantom Ninja's pretty good. We got some Fairy Seers. We didn't open any of the really good ninja payoffs though. Like we didn't get Fallen Shinobi, or we didn't get the black-red ninja, or the black-blue ninja that draws cards. We pull up a nice couple pieces of removal in the Mob and the Defile, which make me want to play with a little bit of black. Venomous Changeling's also a nice card. There's a 1/3 Death Toucher. Smiting Helix is also a nice piece of removal. The Gluttonous Slugs can be okay. And First Spirit Gargantua is also a nice payoff card. Headless Spectre and Azure Smokeshaper are kind of mediocre. As far as red-green archetypes, you got Lands Matter. Ruination Rider probably is our best card in that regard, but it doesn't really give us enough of a payoff, so we're probably going to stay away from that, being that we don't have a lot of good green to go with it in terms of that specific archetype. Good green cards, the Excavator Nerd kind of goes with the Rider. Good green cards, actually we may be able to pull that off. Looking at our green cards, we do have some decent cards. So we've got the Twin Silk Spider's nice because it is 2 creatures for 1. Trumpeting Herd is also the same deal. We've got 2 Twin Silks and a Nurid, Behemoth, Savage Swipe in green. Saddled Rhymestag's very nice as well as a nice 4/4 for a 2. Other good green cards, we're not seeing a whole lot of useful green, but this Ruination Rider may come into play. I don't think we're going to be playing blue, based on what we're seeing as a lot of like very small blue things. Factor Fiction may be worth a random splash. Artifact cards, Astrolabe is nice. There's good fixing. We do have some blue, green, and black snow lands, but I think we're mostly going to be going with this particular deck. Let's take a look at white. Got a Settle Beyond Reality as a nice piece of removal. Blue-white Blink is a pretty good archetype as well. Ephemerate. We don't really have any of the really good Blink payoffs. We've got a couple in Twin Silk, like Twin Silk Spiders are nice to blink. They're a good one. The First Spirit Gargantua is not terrible. Vesper Lark's an okay blinkable, but most of our white cards are mostly filler. Lava Belly Sliver is really nice, but we don't have a whole lot of other slivers. Our red cards are very, very mediocre, so I think we're just going to skip red entirely and focus on black and green being our primary colors, with possibly Factor Fiction as well, just to get some card draw. We don't really have... What do we have for the snow archetype? If we want to go the Snow Mill route, we've got these 4 cards, but a lot of our other blue doesn't necessarily fit that. Got some Fairy Seers and Reign of Revelations, which are nice. They also fit well in the Draw 2 archetype. Slivers is most likely out. But I think our deck is probably going to focus around these strong green cards, these strong black cards, and a small blue splash for the Factor Fiction, given that we have nice cards in Waterlogged Grove. Arula is definitely a playable card. Our other rares we're probably just dismissing because they don't have any good enchantments. Force of Vigor is very situational. Goblin Engineer and Nether Spirit are just relatively bad in draft. We have 3, 4 Snowlands in our deck. Probably enough blue sources off that. The Smiting Helix we may want to make playing the Astrolabe worthwhile. And the Fountain of Ichor is also potentially a possibility here, as they are mana fixing. A lot of people were very big on Lesser Masticore, but it actually became a significantly worse card. We do have 2 ways to get lands in the graveyard, so the Ruination Rider is not the worst idea, given that we have the or the Excavating Inurid, which sacks a land when it comes into play and allows us to draw a card. And the Barrenmoor, which just cycles to put a land in the graveyard, as well as powering up the Threshold and the Behemoth. So both these cards are very good on that note. I still don't think the Ruination Rider is going to make it as a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18. This gives us 18, 19, 20 out of our 23. And we are going to run the Snow-Covered Plains as well as our White Splash. So we need 2 more cards. And let's see. Removal. The only way for us to get red right now is these 2 cards, which works okay. Cool creatures. Swipe is a removal spell. This is creature. So we're not really adhering to any kind of specific archetype in the set. We don't have enough cards in those archetypes for this to work. But let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 creatures. 5 removal spells. The Ephemerate works well with the Twin Silk Spiders, the Excavating Inurid, the first Spirit Gargantua as well, because we can unearth it and then Ephemerate it to get it in play. Let's see if we have any other good creatures that we could play with here. We could go more into white or black, or white or blue for a 3rd color. But I think we want to stick with green. Means this Nimble Mongoose may be worth running, and then we'll put the Lonely Sandbar in as a 4th blue source. So I'm gonna see if we have another good blue creature. Tribute Mage is interesting because it can find Astrolabe, but I don't think it's good enough to put in. Chiller Pillar is not terrible. And possibly those Winter's Rest being our last cards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's 23. Curve-wise, we are sitting with a lot of lower. Our curve actually looks pretty good. Modern Horizons draft is a kind of slow format. But it is a very swingy format as well. So I think this is a reasonable mana curve. In terms of colors, I think we're good on blue sources with the 4. Technically 5, 6 with the Astrolabe and the Fountain of Ichor. And yeah, so we're good on blue. Green, we're going to need a lot more. Black, we're also going to need a lot more. White, we have 2 white cards. We don't want to see white till later. 1 plains is probably okay. think we need to put the focus more on green and black, because those are the colors we want to see first. So if we organize this by color, black, white, green, blue. Not too concerned with the flashback on Smiting Helix, as that's a late game play. So grab a handy pile of basic lands. And we want forests, probably 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably at least 5 more forests. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 green sources. 8 from the Astrolabe, 9 from the Fountain. And then swamps. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It gives us 4 more swamps. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 black cards. We never need more than 2. Or we need 2 very late in the game. We need multiple green sources earlier on. Yeah, Arula is, for the most part, just a bear. We do have 1 Venomous Changeling, which is also a bear. Which is good, because it does turn it into removal. Should take a look and see if we have any other actual bears. Universal Automaton is a bear. Thanks to Changeling. But I think that is our only bear. We also have an Imposter of the 6th prize. So we have 2 more bears potentially. But I think building it more of this, I don't think they're good enough to include. Automaton's a 1/1. It's not going to do a whole lot. We want to be able to constantly evolve these gluttonous slugs. The Ephemerate would be the cuts, but then we lose out on the Twin Silks. And it also helps with Saddled Rhymestag. When creatures enter the battlefield. Helps with the first Spirit Gargantua, drawing us more cards. It's also just a safety card. It also allows us to chump block. And the Settle Beyond Reality is the same idea. So I think we're more on this line, where we want to get green more often than black. 6 black sources. 7 green sources. 4 blue sources, 1 white. I think this is the way this deck gets built. The other option is to cut the white entirely, switch that for an island, and add in some more blue cards. Or we could possibly run these like Fairy Seers over the 2 Fairy Seers over the white cards. And like another island over the plains. But I think getting the extra snow source is important for cards like Astrolabe and Winter's Rest. And like our only red source for the Smiting Helix is the Astrolabe or the Fountain of Ichor, which I think is fine. Fact or Fiction helps out with the threshold for the for the Anirid. Oops. And the Chiller Pillar has more than enough snow sources to become monstrous and become a 5/5 flyer. So that's everything for today. This is how we're building this particular sealed pool. Make sure to join us next week for another Modern Horizons. And thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and we'll see you next week.